Can't believe it. Here we go. We've made it to the Old Telegraph Track. Surely it's got to be Australia's most iconic track, if not very close to. Maybe I should have just brought a boat for this track instead. Oh God, help me. Always a good sign when there's a number for towing at the crossing. Can't believe it. Here we go. We've made it to the Old Telegraph Track. Surely it's got to be Australia's most iconic track, if not very close to. So we just got fuel there at Bramwell Junction Roadhouse. There's heaps of four-wheel drives and people around. And then there the track off heads back down the back of the roadhouse there. There's the famous sign, you see everyone get the picture next to. There's a campground behind the roadhouse there as well. The time is about 4:30. We're going to head down the track, maybe an hour or two, to one of the first couple of creek crossings and camp there the night. We're trying obviously get to camp before dark, just because it's quite busy here and I'd rather be down there, a nice quiet spot to ourselves, and that saves us trying to start the track tomorrow morning at the same time as everyone else, because this track does get fairly busy. We are taking it on solo, well Kai and I, just the one vehicle. I am quite nervous, anxious, also very excited. It's a track I've seen and heard and watched countless videos of since I got into four-wheel driving 6 years ago, and I can't believe I'm finally here to do it. Here we go. Only 5 minutes into the track, sort of weaved our way through the bush, and this is the first obstacle. Look at that. Wow. Palm Creek, this one that's a big drop down there, and that's nearly vertical. That sort of looks like Gunshot nearly. There's not even any fresh tyre tracks down in there, like it's just a mud pit. But yeah, I think we'll go around. There's another track that goes around it over there, so we'll go check that out. I'm assuming that's not as bad, because I don't want to send my car down that to begin with. We go down into Palm Creek, found a track around it, which is still quite steep, but shouldn't be a drama. Very steep hill up out of here that might have to give it a little bit to get up that. I don't think that's going to be a crawl job. That's going to be a send and then maybe make it. Yeah, that's quite slippery. I don't know if I'll get up that. No, there's no way that car's getting up that. Yeah, that's very, very steep up out of there, and it gets slippery with that mud down on the bottom once you put it on that hill. I'm deciding whether to winch up, or I think there's another potential bypass track further around again. I tried second gear low rear locker in and put my foot to the floor and still didn't really get close. Okay, this is option 3, which I think this stands more of a chance of driving than the other one. That's not too bad down in there. It does get deep there. It's sort of halfway between my knees and the waist, that hole there. And we've got to exit up the other side, which isn't as steep, but looks a bit greasy, but yeah, hopefully it's drivable. Right, here we go. Nice and deep here. Just take it slow, first gear low, put that rear locker in, just, you sort of want to give yourself every chance possible. Don't rush it. Nice and easy up out the other side. Now we've got to get up this bank. Sacrifices of being cameraman. If you want to pass the camera up, don't slip over. If you do, then save the camera and not yourself. Right, I'm going to try and crawl this to start with. I might put the windows up so I don't flick mud in. So you're obviously better off crawling things if you can, and then if I can't, I'll have to give it a bit. you go, Palm Creek done, first obstacle done, about 50 more water crossings and obstacles to go. Gonna be a big 2 or 3 days. Crossing number 2, this one looks all good. Come down a little bank there into the river and then hook around to the right and up another bank. It is the next day after we came through that second creek crossing last night. We're going to camp at that one, but there was people camped up on the other side, so we thought, oh, we'll keep going, but then it's a fair distance. We're driving maybe half hour, 40 minutes, and it was starting to get dark. And we didn't want to just keep driving off into the night, not really knowing what's going to be up next, so we just sort of spotted a bit of a grassy patch on the edge of the track and just pulled up here for the night. Then it started raining once we pulled up. I can't believe it, it's raining while we're up here in far north Queensland this time of year. Cooked a bit of dinner and then had an early night in bed. That was those first 2 creeks we came through, and then yeah, this is a fair stretch between here, so we're somewhere up along here. So we'll just keep punching it north today. This is the whole track, so we're sort of down around here somewhere and it goes all the way up to there. So we've got a fair way to go yet. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm fairly certain this is the Dalhunty River. We just pulled up there and had a bit of brekkie on the edge of the creek. There's people camped up around here everywhere. It's quite busy at all these creeks to camp spots. I say you have to get to them early to get yourself a nice spot. But there is a waterfall in this creek, so you're gonna jump over there, have a swim, and then we'll keep going. Nice sort of swim there to cool off. I'd say we're going to be doing plenty of swimming over the next couple of days, and for once everyone won't think I'm insane because it's warm up here. The weather's warm and the water's warm. We got a good couple of hours in this morning on the track, but I'd say it's going to be pretty busy from now on. There's cars in front of us and cars behind us. Birdie Creek, this one is, I believe. You just got to shoot up along the edge and then cut across because it's got some it's all rocky bottom. But it's got some big holes in there, so you just got to come up here a bit further to get around all those holes, and then it's a nice easy shallow crossing. And we're through. That rain's coming back a bit again now. That's quite a heavy shower. So we just passed the turn off into Gunshot Creek, so obviously continuing along the track you can bypass it back out to the main road. But yeah, we'll go ahead and see what it's like. I don't know if I'll drop it down into the main one, but I'm sure we'll manage our way around one of the side tracks. Alright, we're coming up to Gunshot now. I think this landscape's quite crazy out here. It's just like flat and green all around you as far as you can see. The roads seem pretty uneventful between like the creek crossings. That's obviously what the Tele track is about, all the creek crossings on it. And then between them there's a few like wombat holes and ruts here and there, but it's all just flat out here. It's just sort of a rough slow road, and a few windy sections, and some sections are just straight as far as you can see. The surface is a mix of that red dirt and then sand, like a lot of sandy sections. This all through here is all sand. Kind of nearly feels like you're driving through like a Fraser Island track or something. Alright, here we go, down into Gunshot. We're going the far right line, not taking the main one. It's just insane. There's that many people here. I don't really want to cause a scene. The other issue is I'm like 3,000 kilometers from home where we are here now, so it's not really the place you want to be breaking things. I'm just sort of waiting for the all clear. You can't really see here. There's about 30 cars here at the moment. There's just people all over the banks everywhere. It's just chaos. And then the exit up the other side is quite tricky at the moment, and it's all wet from all the cars on it, so a few cars are getting pulled up it, some are driving up it, so see how we go when we get there. Alright, here we go, we got the all clear.
He had that. He had that. Nah, he's up. Yeah, he's good. He's up. He's up. Yeah, he did that pretty easy. No, you just need to take a step.
It wasn't too bad. I'd just say it's people without lockers. They're doing that. There's a few wombat holes there, so you can't get the traction that you need. All right, that's it. Gunshot is done. That was a bit stressful with all the people around and trying to film and organise cameras, and legit about 30-40 people watching you as you do that. So on our way now from Gunshot through to Cockatoo Creek, I think is the next one, maybe about 15 k's. As I said, it's pretty uneventful. There is a couple of wombat ruddy sections and that. There's normally tracks around them if you want to go around them. I don't know what this is now, a bit of a mud puddle here. I just poked my nose and it started to dip in, so I'm just going to check it with a stick first and drive through. Yeah, well, I was going to check it with a stick, but you're checking it, so that's good. Any crocodiles in there?
Yep.
Cool.
I'll be on the way.
It's Cockatoo Creek. It's not too deep, rocky bottom. I think it had a few people worried about trying to pick the right line through it, but I don't think it's too bad. I've seen a bit of a rough line here of where I need to go. Just pulled up here on the edge of Cockatoo Creek after we came through having a little bit of lunch. There was about maybe 10 cars come through after us, but we finally seem to have a little bit of peace and quiet here now to eat some lunch and enjoy this beautiful spot. All these creeks out here are just amazing. In regards to crocs in these creeks, like the HEMA book I have says all safe, no crocodiles out here, and everyone's always in them. But then I know they have seen crocs in these creeks before. I know about 2 or 3 years ago a croc was spotted in Gunshot Creek, and maybe a couple of years before that a croc was spotted in Nolan's Brook. So it's extremely rare it seems, but you do have to be mindful that it is a possibility. Alright, we're up out of Cockatoo Creek there, up that little exit now. From what it looks like on the map, I haven't done this track before, but from what it looks like on the map, Cockatoo Creek, well, was the last was the last crossing on the southern section of the Telly track. So you've got a southern and a northern. So now we just sort of got a straight 15-20k dirt road run back onto the PDR, and then you got maybe 10 k's or so on that PDR where you got like Elliot and Twin Falls, sort of mark the start of the northern section of the Telly track. So we'll, yeah, shoot out of here now and then head up onto the northern section, probably camp somewhere on that northern section tonight. Alright, we came off the southern section of the Telly track and we've come onto the northern side now. We skipped Fruitbat Falls, which is on the corner of the northern end of the Telly track and the PDR, because what we figured is we'll do that on the way back. Then we stopped in at Elliot and Twin Falls for a swim, because this is just an absolutely spectacular place here. So there's basically like waterfalls all down this one, into that mainish one over there, and there's a big waterfall up on that too, which is quite busy at the moment. We're gonna jump in this one for a cool down. So nice in that water, it's so warm as well. You just stay in there the whole afternoon. That's the big waterfall up there. There's about 15-20 people up there, so see if we'll wait for the crowds to clear off a little bit. Found ourselves a nice little camp spot here on the edge of the river. It is pretty bloody busy out here. There's a lot of people, but the good thing about being by ourselves with just the rooftop tent is it's not that hard to squeeze a nice little spot somewhere. The campground up there is packed as, and then the camp area on the other side of the river is packed as. Where we are, I don't actually know the name of this river, but it's the first crossing after the Twin Falls, where it was Twin Falls and Elliot Falls, and you just got this like beautiful little stream here flowing next to you, and the swimming holes all up along it. How cool was that little spa / swimming spot? It's only about 20 metres from camp, just on the river there. We hung out there for about half hour. It's coming up 6:30 now, so we're going to light this fire and cook up some dinner. We're getting quite hungry, but I really enjoy making the most of these days. There's not heaps of wood around the actual campground, so it's always a good idea somewhere along the day to collect some along the Telly track, because there's heaps along. There is heaps of wood along the track, but yeah, don't wait till you get to camp to try and collect it. Finally got around to cleaning all that recovery gear last night from the crab track. Just rinsed it all off in the river, rinsed all the dirt off it. So got recovery gear out here everywhere, drying off on the trees. It's a beautiful night here on the river last night. These creeks are just absolutely amazing. They remind me of Eli Creek on Fraser Island. They're just as clear, but even warmer. You can just sit in them for hours. A couple of new things I got before this trip, which have been very handy. The first one is a fan, because it can get very hot in the tent overnight. This one's from Drifter Stockton, so it's just got like a fan setting and then a light setting too. And I've had the fan running the last 2 nights, all night, and it's still on half battery. So you know, you get a good few nights out before you gotta charge it up again. It's just USB rechargeable. And the other thing which has been really handy is a new jump starter. This is an ARB one. The obvious thing being it can jump start your car, which is especially important when you're solo and when you are remote, and they're only lightweight, easy as to carry. So it can jump start my car like 15 times or something before I have to charge it up again. I can charge it on the road via 12 volt or power point. Thankfully I haven't had to jump start the car yet, but it's good to know it's there if I need it. But what we've been using it for is it's got a little light on it, and then it's also got a heap of charging points on it as well. So I've been taking it to bed of a night to charge up my phone and a couple of pieces of camera gear and things like that. Got all your cables here for it, and it even comes with an iPhone charger. little bit nervous and anxious, quite excited as well. It's like that. We are, as I said, it's pretty uneventful. There's a couple of, how cool was that little, how cool was that like little sparse lap during the day, because there's quite a few. Last night from the crab track, I just watched it, rinsed it off down. It's a beautiful night here on the river / creek last night. It's a beautiful night. I'll quickly show you these cup. And then the second thing which has been really handy is a new jump start. This is an ARB one. And the other thing which has been really handy is a new